Hey gang, welcome to Bugbears and Brews. My name's Brian, and today we're going to recap the 28th session of our Tomb of Annihilation campaign. While we're doing that, we are going to be drinking London Fog from Shorts Brewing. I only had it last night for the very first time. It is pretty damn good. It's a English style beer, English style brown ale, um, and it is brewed with Earl Grey tea, lactose, and vanilla. I think that's what it says down there. Yep. It's delicious. Probably one of my more favorite beers I've stumbled across lately. So, yeah, really, really freaking good, especially if you like brown ales. So, nice malty, a little bit of the, the kind of lactosey finish there at the end there. I don't know, whenever I do like milk stouts, that kind of stuff there, it always just has that distinct finish. I'm not good at describing it, but I know what I'm expecting, and it's what I'm expecting when I drink a beer that has lactose in it. Okay, so looking at where we left off, we actually decided let's go down to, oh sorry, no, we were already, okay. There we go, I had to remember there. Yeah, so we left off with you guys getting introduced to Withers. He's a kind of undeady, lichy kind of looking guy. He has all sorts of animated hands hanging around with him. Bunch of cousin It's, or not It's, Thing from the Addams Family. Yeah, a bunch of things hang around with him. And he decided, he let you guys know, like, hey, this isn't cool what you guys are doing. You shouldn't be in here playing around. I'm going to have to kill you. However, I think we can come to an agreement. And long story short is he let you know that he's going to let you guys walk away for now because there's a couple traps that he wants to test out that Acerok has adjusted, and he's like, yeah, I don't think they're quite right, and so he wants to go ahead and use you guys as not crash test dummies, but beta testers, that kind of stuff there. And since you handled yourself okay on the first floor, he's willing to let you guys slide for now. You don't tell anybody that you guys had this conversation. He lets you guys proceed, and eventually he'll catch up and kill you. You guys kind of hemmed and hawed, debated whether or not you should try to take him out. He was being very cocky and saying he can easily take you guys out at any moment, especially in the condition that you guys were. And in the end, you guys decided, let's just take this and be on our way. And you decided that partly because you're not sure if he was bluffing or not about being able to take you guys out, and you guys were on the absolute like last dregs of the day. You guys had most of your spells spent, that kind of stuff there. So he did allow you to take a long rest before you went back upstairs. He said you couldn't touch his wing, his section, in which he actually just made that kind of vanish. But besides that, you guys kind of had free reign, and he'll be kind of keeping an eye, monitoring you throughout the process there. So you guys got your long rest, went back upstairs, then went down to the main entryway, down to floor 2. There was another plaque giving you guys kind of hints, details, that kind of stuff for the for that floor, and you guys did a little bit of exploring. There was a door that had 3 holes at about head height, and as you guys approached, there was 3 zombies that popped their heads out and just tried to chomp at you, but they had like bits and bridles in their mouth, and so couldn't quite figure out what that was. You couldn't get them to go away, so you decided you'll check on that one later. You went down another hallway and led to a room that had a demon head in the floor. Barb demon, I think. Don't recall which specific demon it was, but its mouth was gaping open. Its mouth was probably about 5 feet wide. Pitch black, no matter what you did, showing light down there, no light got through, so you're assuming some form of magical darkness. and you debated, mainly Ildrix debated whether or not just jumping down there was the right idea. He's about to do it when somebody pointed out, you guys still have one other hallway that you haven't even messed with there. So I decided, all right, let's go back that way and check that out and see what we can figure out with that hallway. And then we'll come back and play with this one. So as you're heading down that hallway, you get to this intersection, and the intersection kind of rises up and up and up and fades out of view. And there is a half satyr type guy. I guess that'd be satyr, right? Because like half goat guy hanging like halfway up, and he's in a sitting position even though he's on the wall. And so Carr decided he's gonna go ahead and chance it, walk down up, and gravity was pointing towards the floor. So no matter where you were able to walk along the wall. Found a couple goodies. So there was let's see here, what did we have? Barlow wound up getting a spell book. Unsure if there was any useful spells in there or not. I don't recall. It was a while since I made the sheet. A Staff of Striking, and a journal that kind of explained who this guy was. The who's and what's you didn't really care so much for. But he did point out a couple things. That A, the clues that are kind of laid about within the dungeon are true, and B, Ace Rock in the end is going to just kill you. So unsure why it's why continue on. So took a look at that. Carr then continued up, going around, and then came back and nobody was there. So he went back, and then everybody was back there. So he kind of noted that, looked down both hallways as he, on the side that nobody was there. Everything looked the same for the most part. So he's guessing it's kind of a different dimension, timeline, version of the dungeon, different something of the dungeon. Somehow it's a different version of the dungeon, whether it's in a different reality, a different timeline, different realm, who knows, but something's a little funky there. Plus, he was able to kind of determine that because of one of the clues was like the ring leads to another dungeon or something along those lines. So, you guys then proceeded down the hallway, took a look. There was this room that smelled like piss old wine. There was 4 gargoyle statues, just the heads hanging on all the walls. There's this gilded coffin sitting in the middle with this beam of sunlight pouring down on it. And you're trying to think, because one of the clues you had was the dead abhor the sunlight or something along those lines. And so you're trying to block out the sun. I can't quite figure it out. And then you're looking up at it, and the light is actually, it's not like a hole or anything like that. It's somehow generated, whether it's through some sort of mechanics or magic or what. It's not natural sunlight, long story short. So you guys decide, let's go hold off on this. We're going to go back and check out this room in the alternate timeline, see if you guys can pick out any clues. You did that. And did we do that first, or did we set off the trap? I don't recall. Here's where I kind of get a little fuzzy on which way we did. So we went back. Yeah, we did the alternate realm first. So you went down, checked that area out, and this one here looked pretty much the same, except for instead of having gargoyle heads, there was the Batari goblin mask statues that were hanging out all over the place instead. And so you guys decided, let's go ahead and open it up. Everybody kind of got in positions there. I forgot who actually, I think maybe Sai opened up the casket. There's a plaque in there. He ran, he grabbed it, dove through the door. Most people got through the door okay. Sadly, Carr didn't and was going to get squished. But I allowed, because a lot of people at the table had inspiration, so I allowed everybody that didn't have inspiration, or that had inspiration, to give it up, and you couldn't earn it for the rest of the game, because it killed them by 1 hit point, 1 or 2. It was like really, really minimal, and I was like, And I didn't really feel good killing somebody on a trap that's really not part of the campaign, that kind of stuff there. So as we talked about it, and that we thought that was the right decision. Everybody gave up their inspiration. So if you didn't come last week, Jose, Don, and you had inspiration, you no longer have it. So everybody lost their inspiration. Boom. But Car stayed alive. The plaque said, breathe deep and forget your sorrows," something like that. Not quite sure what that meant. So you guys went and did another loop, and this one here had no light and a couple oozes hanging around, and then you pulled up the casket. No trap went off. Rushed out there, and that one was massage. The plaque said, "Massage your sorrows away with Dr. Scholl's massaging action inserts," which kind of clued you in on making shit up. Yeah, it was. It was. I didn't mind making stuff up because that's what being a DM is all about, and playing D&D is all about. Not just for DMing. But kind of driving home to you guys, like, this is not going to get you anywhere. So, but I did try to give you guys enough clues to figure out how to actually do the main chest in the main realm. So you guys go back that way, back into the main world. We called it Timeline A or Room A, Dungeon A, whatever. We got back to A, and everybody got into place. Car stayed clear away from the door. I don't even think he went in the room. Sai went ahead and grabbed the plaque, and then everybody else was kind of hanging out by the door. That way they could get through. And this one here, lo and behold, trap went off. You guys all got out of the room safely. And this one said, "Drown your sorrows." Yeah, nice and simple, drown your sorrows. And the door's closed, and all of a sudden you start to hear this water coming in, or liquid, because later on you guys found out it was wine coming in and flooding that area. So he said, "Screw that area. Let's go back and check out the zombie room." Couldn't get the zombies away, so instead you said, "Screw it, poke their eyes out, or poke their faces until they died." I didn't even bother rolling with that because they would keep on attacking until you killed them, and they had no way of hitting you. So killed them, and then Obrekta and Ildrex lifted up the door there, big stone door, and you're inside this room. There's 6 crystal braziers with all sorts of skeleton parts hanging in them, humanoid bones. There is this chariot hanging out with a picture of a bird, tall bird, Iblis hanging out on it. And then there is a coffin. And then there's also a couple statues. There was one with a shield, 2 with spears, and then one that had nothing and it had no face. And looking at the coffin, I think it was said, Iblis teaches us to, or Papa Zodal teaches us to bow to nobody. And so using that knowledge, Ildrex went over to the one with no face, bowed in front of it, which saved you guys. It stopped any traps from happening in that room. And so you guys were able to loot that pretty safely. You got an amulet of health. You got a couple things worth money. And yeah, nobody was possessed, if possession is what happens when you pick up some of the cursed items. And then we wrapped up with Sai and Car getting like this smell of salty, something salty, whether it's, I know that sounds a little weird, but like kind of like sea air, like how you get like that, like the whiff of salt and that kind of briny type of smell going on there. So that's where we wrapped up. This session, it was okay. It was not. I felt like doing it, thinking about it more, I could have probably helped you guys out a little bit to get you on track with the the quest or the one puzzle that really was a meaningless puzzle. It was just one of those rooms that was meant to kill you. I gotta remember, like the hints that they give in the book aren't really good, and so you guys, I'm trying to give you guys a couple more links I think might help out. So that's something I got to work on, and hopefully that'll make things a little bit smoother going out here. So that said, we moved forward. We looked at 3 different rooms. We got our lives back by not fighting some sort of undeady dude. So that's good. Cool. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of the spear, and then yeah, I don't know what's after that. Sky's the limit. See ya.